Welcome to our monthly meeting of the Green Olive Solidarity Network, a global advocacy and mutual aid network working in solidarity with Palestinian communities in the West Bank and toward an end to the occupation. Through this network and its local solidarity circles, we work to maintain sustained and ongoing relationships of solidarity with Palestinians, amplify the voices of activists on the ground in the occupied West Bank, and directly support the steadfastness and civil resistance of Palestinian communities in the face of military rule. I'm very excited and glad that we have today with us Sami Hureini, a longtime friend and colleague of mine who has documented home demolitions, settler attacks, and human rights violations in Masafer Yatta for years as part of broader efforts to counter settler violence, land expropriation, and forced transfer in Area C. Sami is the shared founder of Youth of Sumud, a grassroots collective of young civil resistors in Masafer Yatta that formed in 2017 in response to ongoing settler and military aggression and violence of different kinds against farmers, families, and school children in the area. They frequently accompany shepherds from nearby villages as they graze their flocks, farmers as they harvest olives, and attend to their land, and children walking to school. Sami was unjustly arrested by the Israeli military in a night raid following a demonstration protesting the shooting of his neighbor Harun Abu Haram in January of 2021, and has defended his right to freedom of speech, assembly, and political expression in a series of military court proceedings over the last years. We're honored to have you here, Sami, and to hear more about recent events and about the steadfastness of the communities. Before I pass it to you, I just want to quickly share my screen so people can see where Tuwani is on the map and where you're calling from today. So give me one moment and then we'll hear more from you directly, of course. Beautiful. So here we can see a map, of course, of the West Bank at large. And if we go to the very south of the occupied West Bank, southeast of Hebron and the city of Yatta, we arrive to Masafer Yatta, or the Yatta district, as it's called. And Sami is joining us today from Tuwani. Right here, if we were going to visit, we would turn off of Route 317 here that circumscribes the city of Yatta, drive in, and somewhere around right here, actually, is a guest house the Hureinis have built hosting solidarity activists, internationals, and protective presence workers. And I assume Sami is calling us from near there right now. There's much more to discuss, but I'll leave it first, of course, to you, Sami, to introduce yourself. I'm really glad you could be here and excited for people to be able to learn from you today.
Thank you, Erez. First of all, I really want to thank you really for making this event and events. This is not the first event you are organizing, and really thanks to everyone for being here as well today, and also for Olive Tour, for all the work also they are doing and you are doing, guys. I am Sami. I am from Tuwani village in Masafer Yatta. I'm 27 years old. I am a local activist from the area, coordinator of local youth group called Youth of Sumud. And also I am working in a Palestinian human rights organization. If you have ever heard about it, it's called Al-Haq. It's one of the 6 Palestinian civil society organization that has been designated as a terrorist organization by the Israeli government. I wanted really today just to start with this Zoom with thanking all our friends and ally from all around the world, and for the ongoing support and solidarity for Masafer Yatta and for Palestine. What we really live and suffer in Palestine, it is a very difficult time, very difficult moment, especially these days. And, this is for sure didn't come from today or the last year or the year before. The life of us as Palestinian living and suffering from the occupation started since 1948, since the Nakba, the catastrophe, and there was our start and beginning. Maybe yes, we were not born in 1948. I am coming from from a refugee family. Part of my family, my father's side, have been refugee in 1948 after two uncles of my father were killed by the Zionist group in the village of Al Garitain, where my grandmother and my grandfather were living at, and then they became refugee, and then they finally bought land and settled in Tuwani. And that's how my father's side family, my family from my father's side came to Tuwani, and also my mom is originally from Tuwani, from this village, the family of my mom as well. So in the 1980, this area of Masafer Yatta started to be targeted by the Israeli authorities, by the Israeli occupation, with two plan, which is annexation to take over this land, which is more than 35,000 dunum. It's in south of the West Bank, and also with the eviction policy and ethnic cleansing and forcible transfer. So exactly, land without people. This is the main plan of the annexation plan of the Israeli occupation in this place and in this area. My grandmother understand it very well when in the 80s, when the establishment of the settlement started to be here, and some of our land have been confiscated by force, and other of a member of my community, and the settlements were established in our lands. My grandmother understand after that the settlers started to attack, and the soldiers, and in order even to kick her away and the community away, in order to take more land. This is like exactly that. Since then, my grandmother understand that this is ongoing catastrophe, this is ongoing Nakba, and all the time leaving is not the solution. And the only solution is to steadfast in the land, remain in the land, and resist all these plans of ethnic cleansing and eviction. So I am here in Tuwani today because of my grandmother. I was born in 1997, 2 years before the crime of the eviction in Masafer Yatta. And sorry, 1 minute.
No problem. Until we come back, I thought maybe it'd helpful to contextualize when he says 2 years before. In 1999, there was a mass eviction, but I see Sami is here with us again now and can share more about it himself. You're muted.
Please, Ares. I just went outside. I thought there was army vehicle, but it's fine. Sorry.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. Yeah. I want to briefly say in 1999 there was the first crime of eviction and displacement in Masafer Yatta. The Israeli army invaded villages in my area like Jinba, Al Fakhiyat, Al Halawi, Al Merkez Tabban, Tuba, and about 15 villages. Army came with big camions and trucks, started to carry Palestinians inside these camions and trucks, and evicting people out from this area and from Masafer Yatta. And after that, it was a little bit starting to form the case of the struggle to resist this plan. The people didn't give up and just move away. People continue to try to come back. There was a lot of different work, and also in the Israeli courts that led by the beginning of year of 2000, the Israeli court have issued decision that Palestinians are allowed to go back to their homes and to their villages in Masafer Yatta. But did this stop? No, I mean the excuse was it's that day. I mean when the settlement was start to be established in the 80s, there was also the declaring our lands. Okay, sorry guys. Sorry, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. I'm really, I don't know, some calls.
Totally.
Yeah. And in the same time, in the 1999, in the same time, in the 1999, there was the eviction. There was, in the 80s, there was the declaring of our lands as a firing zone area to train Israeli army. So that is like the two main policies that we have been facing since decades, that the military declaring our land as a firing zone to train Israeli army, and also the settlements and settlers. So in the beginning of the year 2000, Palestinians were able to be back to Masafer Yatta. Palestinians were, but the policy of eviction and displacement have never stopped. The army continue with military training in the villages, coming to the homes of the people, scaring the people, messing and destroying the houses and chasing the shepherds that go outside, and interrupting all the life from happening and from going on, in order to create an environment of forcible transfer. By the 2006, there was the first test for the movement of the popular committees and for the action in here in Masafer Yatta to resist the wall. There was a wall established in front of Tuwani along a highway here called 317. Like this long of the wall was 43 kilometer, was separating all Masafer Yatta from all other parts from the West Bank. But the struggle was strong, demonstrations, everything from all the area. My father, my grandmother, everyone was part of this. My dad was one of the leader of this movement. As again, I was still young. I was growing up and seeing all these things in front of me. But after 2 years, in 2008, this wall was demolished, and this wall collapsed. And this is thanks to the efforts and to the resistance that started here. And it's called the nonviolent popular, struggle here, that was used and still used until this day to resist the Israeli occupation. Our staying in our land and every day, and the presence, even the shepherd presence every day in the land, even the children going to school, and everything considered for us is a resistance every day. Our schools, to build the schools, is also another daily story of resistance, and this schools still exists. Tuwani, for example, today have fighted when it built the school, that the school was under threat of demolishing, the clinic, the council, everything. And for example, Tuwani was the place where the struggle started from. And today, from Tuwani, from you see the homes and master plan and electricity and water. This is all achievement. This is we had resisted so long for getting this. Maybe just about 12, 13 years ago, we managed to get the electricity, normal electricity in my village. But this is because occupation simply cut and prevent any kind of services from arriving to Palestinians, especially like areas like Masafer Yatta. They don't want water, they don't want electricity, they don't want anything to reach to us. They consider it illegal, because this is something help us to continue to strength to live in our land. We lived without electricity. We lived for a while with electricity just 3 hours in the night from a generator. We have been really in a very tough time, and we grow up since we were children with all this daily harassment. My home received demolishing order. Luckily, the master plan came and then protected this from happening. Anyway, from our involvement, slowly, I used to go to demonstration. When I was young as well, very scared from the soldiers. The soldiers used to come to our house and in the middle of the night, and started to put our house upside down. I was really traumatized from this. I grew up and I was very scared from facing soldiers, from facing and seeing settlers. I remember myself very well when one jeep of soldier used to come to Tuwani to enter my village. I used to run inside the house and hide myself because I was really scared. And slowly, slowly, thanks to my family and my mother and my dad, when they took the decision that they're gonna grow up a family here, they were really going in a very hard decision. I can understand very well right now, and how they help us a lot to be from scared, because it's natural, it's normal to be scared from someone coming to our homes in the night, waking us all up, start to destroy our house in front of our own eyes, arresting my father sometimes. Or sometimes I remember very well, they used to wake us up, all the village, and gather us like sheep in one spot, and and the soldier went in all the houses and started to destroy and break everything. This is also another way since years, that this is since 20 years and more, and 40 that the occupation continue with the goal of the eviction and so on. And how our family encouraged us and supported us. Since I was young, I was coward and I was scared and everything, and then we became a frontliners, slowly, slowly going to the demonstration. I remember myself going to the first time a demonstration. I was holding the Palestinian flag. When big army forces arrived, I throw the flag and I ran away. This is honestly how I started, but then how I became involved, and also more and more. That was the first time. The second time we became more confronting. Then my first time of being arrested was when I was 15 years old, when I was with my family, with the sheep of my family in the land, in order to be present to defend the land, as this is the mission that my grandmother have been always doing. And so my father, and then it's me, and then my brother, and then my family, and this is how things go. We all in Masafer Yatta has sheeps, and this is considered our main source of income for all the families. And then we have small plantation of seasonal planting and small agriculture. First of all, we are very far from everywhere, few water, few everything. That's why also things are very small. And another thing we are known with here is the caves, which is considered as a heritage of this area. Our people used to live here in the caves for decades, and this is, yeah, literally shepherding caves. The small seasonal agriculture is our uh, heritage and lifestyle. I want to talk a little bit about when more and more involvement in 2017. We started with Erez and other friends and activists, Palestinian, international, also Israelis, to form the Sumud Freedom Camp. This is to go to an evicted Palestinian village, to leave the village, to protect the land from the village from settlement expansion. And then from there, me and Ali and Muhammad from Mufaggara and others, we remain in the village. We continue with the idea of Sumud Freedom Camp. We left the village, continue of 24 hours to rehabilitate, rebuild, renovate the village in a way or another, to plan to make a life there. And again, be present in the land is one way to defend the land. We continue with the idea, we continue to grow. We have been involved in also more and more from youth perspective in the struggle, part of organizing demonstration with our friends and allies in the area around. Trying as well as much as possible to help in the area, in the community, in the villages, in supporting the daily struggle, the daily sumud to remain in the land. We have been running to different projects from by our own, from providing windows protection to entire community like Mafaggara and others. And then now we moved on. We started with the caves, and in all the area in general, we renovated in the last 3 years about 30 caves. And then we also started with digging the caves and creating shelters for our people and our own family to support if there is like demolishing operation or something carried out in order to have a shelter for the family and so on. Since October, our life became more and more difficult, became more and more hard. In order, the settler who used to attack us became soldiers. They start to raid villages, threat people with the guns to leave in 24 hours. If they don't, they will come back and kill them. people have suffered so much. We suffered so much. We were not allowed to go 10 meters out from our homes. Otherwise, we used to face live shooting from the Israeli settler soldiers. Now there is the name we call them. And then, for example, settler came to Tuwani after October with few days, shot my cousin Zakaria al-Adara. Soldiers were accompanying also this settler. It is really, we lived, and we still living under the fire of the settlers and the Israeli soldier who became also more and more aggressive, violent, preventing, filming, beating, arresting, listening to settlers, blocking our roads, even, more home demolition carried out by the Israeli soldiers and army and so on. This is in order to make another pressure and more pressure on us. And specifically in the south, in general, South Hebron Hills, there was some villages like Zanuta and others left, but in Masafer Yatta, specifically in the South Hebron Hills, Masafer Yatta, few families left, but most of the area are still. No villages have been evicted, and this is considered to the hard time and hard moment we lived and we're still living. It is an achievement, it's unsuccessful. We were fighting for our land before, and now it's become honestly like fighting in our homes. And if we defend ourselves, we got arrested, we got beaten by the soldiers, or maybe we could be shot like Sheikh Saeed a few days ago. He was shot, he lost his leg because settlers were working in his land. He decided to go and defend his land. Simply, he was shot, and the settlers for sure faced nothing. And then he was detained, and then he was in the hospital detained. His son was arrested of 16 years old. The settlers who shot him were free, but he was also released with a bail of 5,000 shekel, and his son the same thing. What we want to say that the reality and the daily life is so difficult, so hard, but we have also a lot of determination in and insisting in remaining in this land until the last breath. And this also needs the support from the free people around the world to really stand more effectively with Palestine in many different ways, coming to Palestine, being in solidarity movement here, joining the work, joining the daily work international are doing in order to support Palestinian staying. Sorry, I'm gonna stop here. Maybe we open discussion. It is if you wanna say something. Thank you guys for coming to this event, and yeah, we can have a discussion.
Shukran, friend. Incredible to hear about the larger history of civil resistance and struggle, about the tradition of popular resistance that you come from your family, your grandmother, your mother, your father. I'm very glad also that people in this network have been able to talk before on these monthly calls with Gama, Samiha, Mohammed. There was one call where we were supposed to talk with Gama, and then you were detained in the Mothers of Sumud garden, and Mohammed joined instead last minute. So I'm really proud and happy that people have been able to join and see the incredible work that you're doing, that the family is doing, that Youth of Sumud is doing to support the resistance. And also for me, you mentioned 2017 when the Youth of Sumud started, coming out of the Sumud Freedom Camp and the Civil Disobedience Encampment. For me personally, that was an incredible, huge moment of learning following your leadership and the leadership of the civil resistance in Masafer Yatta. And to show people just a little bit more directly the incredible work that all of you do, I thought I would just share one or two quick videos to see directly the work that you do in the field. So I'll do that now, and then we'll come back for questions and more conversation. One moment while I share my screen.
Youth of Sumud is different youth activists from different villages from the South Hebron Hills, male and female. We are doing and organizing every day, accompanying the Palestinian shepherds who are under threat of attack by the Israeli settlers, accompanying the school children who come every day to school in the morning and in the afternoon.
الو حمزة شو طلعت؟ Hamzi is a child from the village of Tuba who come to study in the village of Tuwani, and he's coming through this road just if he is escorted by the Israeli army. This is what the soldiers should do, but different attacks happened, and the soldiers were doing nothing. Every child has the right to education, but the children of Tuba, every day their right to education is violated.
And here quickly is just one other video from the field.
If you saw all of the trees, you can see life. So this is why we are thinking about to fall all of this valley and all of trees. If you want to go to the school, the army, they stay there. It's normal in our life.
كان عمري 7 سنين لما ضربوا أبوي واعتقلوه أول مرة. طول حياتنا شاهدين على مشاهد عنف. اليوم إحنا اللي ماسكين كاميراتنا تلفوناتنا، إحنا اللي بنصور. حتى لو منعرفش شو جاي بكرة، لأنه المستقبل مجهول وإحنا بدنا نبني طريق للوصول إله.
Just a glimpse into the incredible work that Youth of Sumud does, and the ways that every day they work to, like in Sarura and the caves, reverse the processes of displacement, deoccupation, advances, rehabilitate and rehabilitate lands, give Palestinian families who've been displaced access again, accompanying school children and farmers, and so much more. Sami, curious if you have anything to add coming out of those videos or that you want to point out.
Well, really, there is a lot to tell, and I think I will be. Yeah, I will stop here. Maybe it's better to wonder if something people want to know we didn't speak about, something not clear. Would be happy maybe to answer. Yeah.
Great. Anytime people have questions, they should feel free to raise your hands virtually over Zoom so I can see, and I'll call on you to ask. The only other thing that I wanted to ask you about, Sami, if you wanted to speak about it, was about the military court proceedings over the last years and what that's meant. But if you prefer not, that's fine too. And I see that someone has a question. Do you want to speak about that?
I will be shortly, and then we can just go to the question. Yeah, in 2021, I was with other friends from Youth of Sumud, from other friends and comrades from the area. We're organizing demonstration against shooting of Harun Abu Haram, a young man from a village next to mine called the Rakiz. This guy, same age of mine, he was shot, 2 years paralyzed, and he passed away due to the soldiers, really because soldiers can shoot us and no one can make any consequences to the soldiers or anything to them. Harun was defending a generator and from being confiscated, and simply the soldiers can shoot us if we defend our own properties and our rights. Then, after the second demonstration, after we started demanding the justice for Harun Abu Haram, I was, the soldier raided my house. I was the only protester arrested. I was accused of assaulting soldiers, and I was for about 1 week in prison. And then I was going through court process. This court process, I mean, assaulting soldiers, organizing illegal demonstrations, and also trying to go in a settlement. There was so many actually really accusation and charges and lies from the soldiers against me. The main goal was from that is to restrict my political work and activism. And since then I was released, I'm not allowed, I mean, one of the conditions of the release, I'm not allowed to go to any demonstration. I'm not allowed to participate in any political work. Since then, and I was also had to pay a bail of 10,000 shekels. I had to, for 3 months, I was every day go and handle myself to the Israeli police station. They lock me in a room, and in the afternoon, late afternoon, I mean, it was from 9 to 5. It was all every Friday, 3 months. It was very difficult. Few months ago, the court ended finally, and the judge issued the decision that if I go again to demonstration, I will go to prison for 1 month. This is not only me. This is all of us as a Palestinian in order to stop us from our work. But this is because they understand every person here have his own position, his important of work, and this is another way to break us and limit us from continuation of our work and our political work. I mean, this is one side. As a person, a personal level, I am affected with until now. Can't go to demonstration, but in the same time, also, I don't know if I mentioned, we have a guest house, and our guest house now under threat of demolition. And in the 20th of May, there will be a court hearing where the Israeli judge will give a decision if they're going to demolish it or not. I mean, we received the demolition order, but now we went to the court. Usually it's a matter of time. We hope they don't demolish it, but we built it about 4 years ago, and now we are in this moment and in this situation. Yeah.
Thanks, Sami. And difficult to hear about these difficult realities. And I didn't know that about the guest house. Let us know on the ground and also this network of people around the world if there's anything that can be done to support. We're here.
Every day there's a new problem. Every day there is a new attack. Every day a new thing. And from so many things, I swear we are not, we don't wake up. It's like just ongoing hits on the head. These days are very difficult. Yeah, we didn't even update about this, but yes, we definitely should work for something about it.
Okay, be in touch, and hopefully calls like this can be like drinking tea together instead of the hits on the head.
So,
And just to what you were saying about the last years and this process you've been through, I just wanted to highlight the differences between what you experienced following that demonstration and what I experienced. I was there with you that day. But Palestinians in the West Bank and living under military rule can be arrested under administrative detention without due process, without charge. I was able to go home carrying the privileges that I do as a dual citizen from birth of the US and Israel. And this speaks to the system of occupation and inequality that all of us are here to work towards dismantling. And it's important to really understand the dynamics at play. And I think so often people around the world, it's understandably difficult to really understand the realities and dynamics on the ground and how the dual legal system functions. But okay, always too much to discuss. And you've shared so much already. Alan, I saw that you had a question or something you wanted to share. I'll make it so you can unmute now.
Great. Thank you very much, Sami, for participating in this and sharing your horrible experiences. Our heart goes out to you. I would like to ask two questions. One is, how do you and your family support yourselves financially? And then also, what do you personally think is the long-term solution to this mess, both you personally, and what do you think the likely outcome is?
Okay, should we take one question by question, yeah? Then what's the plan?
Yes, that sounds good. If you want to just answer Alan's question just now.
Yeah. Okay, so again, regarding how we are living, it is, I work, my father also work, we live in one house, and we have our live stock. We have goats and sheep, I don't know what's the plural of sheep. Yeah, there is the guest house. So there is, and we are surviving. The situation is, talking about in general, what is the solution for this situation we are living in as a Palestinians? And again, our problem is the hypocrisy of the international community. This is making our suffering endless, and this will just continue. And we see that this hypocrisy should end. And trust me, from raising awareness and from talking to everyone around the world and letting people really know the truth and the reality. The Israeli lobby and the Zionist lobby is a very strong lobby, is covering all this reality from reaching to the world, and it's our mission to bring this reality and daily life to everyone. And really, everyone have his own circle at home, from making political pressure, hopefully, from making even more people in the community where everyone live more aware of what's happening, because really the struggle against the occupation is we see as a Palestinian is going to be long. And what is the solution? That everyone should stand in his responsibilities and for the Palestinian cause in this way, and for the Palestinian people. And in this way, the suffering will end. But in the same time, to say like Macron in France, that he want to recognize the state of Palestine in June, in the same time he support Israel with weapon, in the same time he break the law and the ruling of the ICC of arresting the wanted for the ICC Netanyahu and Gallant, and instead Macron is opening the airspace of France, for example, for Netanyahu to travel to the US. So you can see clearly where there is the hypocrisy, and this is not a way to find a solution. It's a way how to be complicit. This is completely being complicit in the daily routine and the daily life we are living, and this is going to bring us to nowhere better. It's just making things more worse. And we ask everyone from activists like you guys, everyone have his own space to do even the minimum he can. Slowly, this movement can grow and we can make affection. I see one question in the chat. I will go to it immediately. There was Maureen asking how demolition can happen inside while it's inside the master plan. Okay, the guest house is a political place. We have a lot of activists coming from all over. Even the lawyer is shocked from the response of the Israeli in the court that are saying this is This is first reason that the ownership of the land is not clear, which is the lawyer is getting crazy because he took from us the documentation and documents of the land that is directly my father inherited this land from his father. It means even not to me, that would be my grandfather, a little bit far. So directly inherited from my grandfather. And the lawyer that's what he provide now to the court. And the other thing that it is now, after giving the master plan from more than 15 years, now they say, okay, Tuwani is a archaeological site, which means you cannot build inside it without special conditions. Okay. And when we built the guest house, there was already a structure, and we just remove it and we build the guest house. And the lawyer asked, what are these special conditions, for example? They say, we don't know, we don't have them. Like, it is just a matter. The lawyer told us it is a revenge, and they are trying in all the way possible in order just to take the building down. The army noticed several times gatherings of us before demonstration in the guest house. The army sometimes come look for volunteers and solidarity activists in this guest house, and so they are pushing in all the ways to not make this building exist.
Well, I didn't know that either. And of course, I'm learning a lot today from you, Sami. Of course.
I'm sorry, I'm not talking a lot person, and things just get open now, and I am just, yeah.
Of course, so much is happening. Archaeology is important to understand too. We've talked in the past to Ahmed from Susya, and learned then that an archaeological site is the pretext that the army used there also to displace the residents of Susya from their families' historic lands and homes and cave dwellings. And you can see firing zones, nature reserves, archaeology. The military, as sovereign of the West Bank, will use whatever zoning tools at its disposal to make life difficult. You were about to say something, Sami?
No, exactly what you are saying. Settlers are able to build archaeological, not archaeological, everything. And, for us, it's just a matter of a way and excuse. And exactly for someone who doesn't know the reality of the occupation, Palestinians are crazy. They want to destroy archaeological site. And for sure, this is how people will explain it, but no one know the reality, and everyone should really know the reality. We will not destroy our own remains. This is like crazy even for us. It's not about that. It's just how to use everything as a tool for the occupation.
Of course. Caroline, I see that you have something you want to share or ask. One moment. You should be able to unmute now.
Thanks. Thank you very much. I wonder what the impact is of Israeli observers and international observers who come to the village or to the communities to help. Are they effective? Are the Israeli observers or helpers the ones that the army will listen to, or the internationals, or neither? Or is the level of violence so widespread that you simply don't have enough of them?
For us, one of the important thing we have in Masafer Yatta, which is the international and the Israeli activists' presence, in order to support the daily resistance. First of all, the people who come, the Israeli activists and the international activists, are the people who are the real testimony for us for the daily life we live and we face. And it's have been a history now, more than 20 years. In September, we celebrated the 20 years of the presence of the Italian organization of Masafer Yatta. It's provide activists of 20 years, and that is really a long history and important history that in the end of the day, like, the Israeli occupation have practiced two different law in one territory against different people. So Palestinians here, we are living under the Israeli military law, and we have no single right, and who live under the settlers, for example, they are even they are illegal according to international law, are living under the civil law. Look at the thing how it is really completely where the apartheid exists, and the apartheid is clearly there. The internationals and the Israelis are under the kind of the civil law, which is sometimes, I mean, they get detained, I mean, also by the army. But this is still, I mean, when they get arrested, Palestinians got kidnapped and disappear for sometimes for hours, sometimes for days. I mean, the army can disappear us as a Palestinian for 96 hours, and even this time can be extended. But still, I mean, when the international activists get arrested, can go to the police station and should not, I mean, because, I mean, the army will act with them in the end as civilians. We are, I don't know, another thing. But still, honestly, we, Palestinians, Israeli activists, and international, we are under the attack of the soldiers and the settlers. This is so many times we have been all together, uh, you know, uh, attacked, and even when the settlers attack, even Israeli or internationals, is the sometimes the same way that they attack a Palestinian. The Israeli police and army are back up for the settlers to cover their crime and help their crimes to continue to continue to happen. What is the importance of this international presence? It provides kind of civil protection that internationals are always intervening. The Israeli army want to protect this image of Israel, the state of law, but in the same time, this because you cannot hide the occupation, and the Israeli army freak out from that and start to act with the Israeli activists and with the international activists as the enemy, as the Palestinians, for them. And we really, appreciate a lot this rule of this presence and of this coming here and of this solidarity. Because a lot of times the level of violence can be way, 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 way more if they doesn't exist, and this is we consider it part of the civil protection, the protection by presence of these people, and that has a very important impact in our life, in our living. And that is when we say that this presence support our daily resistance and our daily resilience, and remain steadfasting in the land. Even if it's fighted, a lot of people get arrested, deported, banned from being here 2 weeks, 1 month. Israel is using with the activists all the ways possible because their important role, and they think that this volunteer will finish in this way and no more will come. But we are thank to all efforts of Ares and all the commemorates that all the time more and more people coming, more and more people present. And it is we consider this is a protection for us as well, and we consider it also a strength for us to continue the daily resistance and resilience in the land. There's a question about Palestinian Authority. I will jump very quickly to it. Palestinian Authority have limited role here. The only role of Palestinian Authority, for example, in the school under demolishing, the PA can provide teachers, can provide sometimes doctors in the clinics, whatever. It is more of services rule, and even these services sometimes councils for like village like Tuwani. It exists, but it doesn't have a lot of capacities to do things out of from the master plan. Like Masafer Yatta Village Council is a council that should provide services. It belongs to the PA, but it's not able to work because Israel doesn't allow any work to happen from water net, from roads, from infrastructure. But it's considered as a struggle as well to have everything. So really, the role of the PA is very small and very weak in this area, due to its Area C under full Israeli military control. It's a firing zone, all of this. So the PA tried to help in what is possible, not a lot of things able to be done due to the Israeli restrictions.
Thanks,
I'm trying to be short as much as possible. Sorry.
You're doing excellently. I think we have time maybe for one more question. If someone has something they want to share, say, ask. Does anyone else have something they want to ask or share? Well, I just wanted to, Caroline, I see there's one more thing. 1 second. Yes.
Just that I'm just bowled over by your continued resilience in the face of these, of so, I mean, unimaginable difficulty, this daily violence and this daily oppression. I just salute you for your continued nonviolent resistance in the face of this madness.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, also meeting you and really and hoping you are going, inshallah, to act. I mean, just your presence after for the call to be in this Zoom and listen and hopefully sharing. Also, we appreciate this a lot. Hopefully, one day we'll be able to see you here. We believe very well that this is a long struggle. This is long fight. We should continue to fight it, and even with all this depression, we should never give up. We are people really committed, and we believe in our own right, and we should just continue and never give up, and with more support and solidarity from everyone around, this strength will be more stronger and will continue. And thank you all again for everything, for your coming.
Thanks you, Sami. It's our honor, and we know with so much happening, it's so appreciated that you made time and shared, and we're here to give the experience and perspective you have. And the idea of this network is that we can all collectively together be part of this testimony that you talked about, the testimony to the world, and be able through these continued conversations to act more effectively as part of grassroots and diplomatic efforts. Because we know that the situation on the ground isn't static, that in a year from now, maybe they'll declare somewhere else an archaeological site, or they will come perhaps in a year to attempt to evict the villages of Firing Zone 918. And this growing network, along with many, many other solidarity workers around the world, can be part of, hopefully, efforts to work together and follow the resistance on the ground in creating the reality we want to see. Any last thought from you, Sami?
I spoke too much. I'm done. Thank you, and thanks again to everyone.
I'm excited for you to come and speak again sometime soon. And with that, we are at the hour, unfortunately, and have to close for today. So yeah, it's not taken for granted that you joined. Anyone here who is not already a member of the Green Olive Solidarity Network or a Solidarity Circle and would like to join this global community working to maintain sustained and direct relationships of solidarity with Masafer Yatta and other communities in the West Bank can learn more at this link I'm sharing in the chat and join this network. And I will send the link. Someone asked in the chat about the links to the videos showing the work of Youth of Sumud in the field. I'll include that in a follow-up email tomorrow. I wanted to quickly say that in the coming month, we will continue to support the steadfastness of communities through solidarity initiatives and agricultural projects. And specifically in the next months are excited to once again mobilize in support of the annual Boolean Kite Festival, a multi-day festival celebrating Palestinian livelihood and culture each July. Last year, the kite flying events many of you participated in helped to make it a truly global expression of joy and solidarity in the face of military rule. So stay tuned for updates. We're excited to partner with you, Sami, and with Youth of Sumud in the coming months as well. And people in this network helped in a small way to contribute to the rehabilitation of one of the many caves you've worked to rehabilitate. So we will be in touch. Yeah, our honor.
Thank you so much, really. Thank you, and for everyone who helped, who donated, who are helping, for solidarity, for everything, honestly, from my heart.
all in return. Shukran كثير.
Salamat, salamat. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you, Erez. And inshallah, see you.
Talk soon, everyone. Have lovely days around the world, and we'll join next month for the next meeting of the Solidarity Network. Talk very soon. Much thanks.
Salamat.